What is up, guys? Brandon here, Wake Your Neighbors. We're coming out with a new video. I touched base a little bit on this when we were at the Ford dealership, and it's just one of those things that kind of annoy me. Now, 4 months ago, before I bought this car, I was in the search of looking for a new car. I went to a couple different places, and the thing I noticed that really just peeved me off, one, either people were not helpful, they didn't know their cars, or the third one was the one that really got me pissed off is specifically at the BMW dealership that I'm at. There was a used GT350. Now, if you watch any of my older vlogs, you'll hear me talk about the GT350 a lot. I 100%, I love the car. It is an immaculate car. It is probably the best sounding car on the market stock. So absolutely loved it. High interest in it. I finally found one close to me, went and looked at it, and as I was looking at it, one of the guys came out to me. He was talking, and I said, I told him right up front, I said, hey, super interested in this car. Can we drive it? Let's go. Here's my license. And he looked at me and he said, no, in order for you to even test drive it, you have to run your credit and have you like sign a couple papers. And to me, that just pissed me off. It hit a nerve that I was like, okay, one, what day was this? This was probably in March. The weather wasn't the greatest. I don't even think I had my car that day. I had my girlfriend's car, which is an SUV, so I wasn't pulling up in a Vet or anything. But for them just to be like, no, we have to run your credit first, and you have to do sign pretty much everything that says, hey, you're gonna buy the car if you test drive it, was just kind of like a slap in the face, or just, I don't know, but there's something about it. Is how are you gonna buy a $50,000 car when you can't even have the keys for it? This guy wouldn't even open it for me. And so pretty much right away I was like, well, this was my one chance of getting this car, so you kind of screwed me out of this. I'm gonna take my business elsewhere. And probably 3 weeks later, found my Grand Sport. Super happy with the Grand Sport, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love this car, but a little piece of me is always like, what is that GT350 like? I hear them constantly when I go to Cars and Coffee, or even if you've ever just heard one like driving down, you know what that flat plain V8 sounds like. It's like a Ferrari, but it just has a pissed off tone to it, and I absolutely love it. So what we're doing today is we are here at Kelly BMW, and I'm just gonna kind of roll up in this car and see if they make me do the same thing. So it might not be, I don't know what I'm gonna like look at, but I am in the market for a winter car. But if they don't have that same like arrogance to them, it's gonna be kind of weird that at first they made me run my credit, wanted me to sign off on this car that I was gonna buy it, and then all of a sudden, like, who does that? I do not understand it. So roll up here now. We're gonna kind of look around, see, one, if anyone helps me, which they should. No matter what car you drive, how you look, all that stuff, they should help you. So after we look around, we're gonna see if the same rules apply. I'll probably switch my camera here. I'll probably have my phone on for most of the time, just because my vlogging camera is a little bit bigger. I have a microphone, if you guys haven't noticed. Hopefully the new microphone is just picking up some great volume for you guys. So I'll probably switch over to my phone, so if you notice a little quality drop, I apologize, but it is for kind of just like the sake of overall quality of this video. I don't want to roll up in there and then be like, oh, we're gonna help this guy because he has a camera, or vice versa of like, oh, you're just doing this to be a tire kicker. So we'll get going, and here we are here, and we'll see what they have on the lot. If you guys can see that, they have a M3, so I think that's what we're gonna kind of look at. That's what we're gonna kind of look at and go for. We'll see how it goes. All right, stay tuned. They're just great all around cars, really. No, I wanted to come in and check it out and see. It was a little I noticed you guys, like, for your, what's the test drive process thing mean?
So we just kind of have that up there so every 18-year-old and their brother doesn't come out to try and joyride it. You know, we can tell you're serious about it. I mean, you're growing up in a Corvette, so I doubt you're going to be joyriding it. But
You guys, do you have to run the credit beforehand?
not necessarily. I mean, do you think credit would be an issue?
Oh, no. I just know usually when I see that, they like run the credit and everything before you can even test drive it, and I'm not.
It's more of a deterrent.
Okay. All right, guys, we're back home in the garage. Got the car all parked. Now, let me just start off by saying once again that the car salesman that I had this time, I think he did it the right way. I would much rather have someone tell me straight up what the process is, why they do it, and such. And if it comes down to it, he can simply state, hey, this is our policy. Can you have some proof of financials, stuff like that? And then maybe we can agree or continue to talk about how I can get into the car and test drive it without running my credit first. Now, the reason why I don't want them to run my credit is because, say, if something did happen and I didn't like the car, or the deal falls through, or the numbers just aren't right, is because if I go back to a dealership in, say, 2-3 weeks, then with my credit score just dropping maybe 5 to 10 points just because of those hard checks that they pulled, then that could affect my interest rates. And I just don't want that. So it's just better off to make sure you have the right car and then you run your credit. The first guy I just hated because he pretty much told me straight up, you cannot get into this car, you cannot drive it, you cannot look at it without us running your credit. And I 100% believe that is just wrong. Now, with the car salesman that I had this time, I do think how he said, okay, we know you're serious because you're in a Corvette. All right, as you can see with the video before, he does state that. He said, I know you're serious because you're in a Corvette. Now, I just don't understand fully because a lot of car guys have beaters. And we don't necessarily, I'm lucky enough that I daily drive this, but the thing is, I've also planned on having a beater this winter. So just like, sometimes we just drive them. You know, you're not always, there might be a time that I don't feel like shifting gears, work out a lot. Sometimes my knees bother me. If I want to get in my beater, then let me get in my beater and go look at a car. But you're going to judge me just because I have multiple cars and it's not a car that's like straight up in your face, kind of, oh, he's successful, so I'm not going to let this person even look at this car. And I do believe that is 100% wrong. Now, to continue with it all, I do agree that they should have some type of policy in because there are tire kickers out there. I've never been one to go look at a car that I have no interest in buying, or like it might not even be on the radar. I would never just go into a dealership and be like, hey, I just want to drive this car. That's, for me, it's just pointless, and I know the time that is going to be spent there because they just drag that process out so much that for me, it's just not worth it. So this whole thing just kind of sheds a light on what is the process? What's the deal? Why do they judge you as you come in? 100%, I get the tire kicker process as stated, but you should not judge someone, especially car people, that if we're driving up in a non-performance car or something that doesn't look like it has a budget for it. There is a lot of people out there. Look at Bill Gates. He drives a Prius, you know, 100%. It's not that great of a car, but that's what he loves to zoom around in. But he can buy whatever the fuck he wants, and that's just the way it is. So that comes up with that, and then it just kind of brings me to that point of what else do they kind of stereotype in, and I just kind of want to see how far it goes. Like, does the clothes you wear actually kind of matter? For one, I am in workout clothes, gym clothes 90% of the time I go out. I'm working at a gym, work out all the time. It's just what I like. It's comfortable for me. It's kind of my profession. So has this process been harder just because I'm wearing workout clothes? That's another thing. So go ahead, drop in the comments below what you think they should do, they shouldn't do, of course. What is your opinion on it? That's all I want to know, because I have some super mixed feelings. As a business owner, I get it, but then as a customer, especially when you're going to look at a higher end car that you could have been saving for your whole life, to just kind of be treated like garbage and like swept under the rug, that just pisses me off. The buy carring experience for me is a fun process, and a lot of times it just seems like it has been so dull lately that it does fire me up a little bit. So go ahead, drop your comments, like the video, subscribe, and we have a lot more coming for you, so make sure you check out that. I'm uploading Cars and Coffee. Went to Cars and Coffee here in Columbus. The car scene is outrageous. Being from Florida, all I've ever seen is really Mopars at every Cars and Coffee I went to, every car show event, just a bunch of Mopars. So coming up here, there's a lot more builds, a lot more people taking time, putting in effort in cars that you wouldn't see. I did see like an R32. I saw a bunch of built S2000s, a lot of really cool cars. So make sure you check out that video. Other videos on the Corvette, we've been roasting off the tires of this thing, driving it super hard. Absolutely love it. We have a couple more sets there in the back, so. And of course, I do have another set of wheels coming in. So I'm gonna be swapping in and out, and tell me what color should I paint them, because I'm not gonna keep them black. I think I'm either gonna go white wheels for the back, or I'm gonna match the mirrors. We're gonna go bright orange. So go ahead, like, subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next one, guys.
So don't act like it, and please don't treat me like I'm your sidekick. 'Cause I watch TV, I see how life is, and it's not